coming off impressive road victories meet today at Giants Stadium. The 3-5 Green Bay Packers take on the New York Giants, who are all even at 4-4 on the season. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Randy Cross, and I guess the big question for the Giants is, was the convincing win over the Redskins a flash in the pan, or are they finally finding themselves?
Well, if they have found themselves, it's kind of a new self for the Giants. For years, it's always been a dominating, tough defense and an offense whose job was it really not to mess up. Now the defense is still pretty good, but this team will live and die the second half of '92 by how well this offense does.
Randy, in talking with Mike Holmgren, the Packers head coach, he said, we can beat the Giants on their turf. We can build on that, beating a tough team under tough circumstances, but how do they do it?
They've got to do it with their offense, using the pass as the run. Brett Favre, Vince Workman, and Sterling Sharp have to control the ball, have to get down the field, eat up time on the clock. It's a given the Giants will move the ball. Now let's look at a little cross-examination we like to do. Offensively, edge goes to the Giants. Defensively, also to the Giants. Special teams, I think with the windy conditions here in the punting game of the Packers being as poor as it is, edge goes to the Giants. Team speed, though, is over with the Packers, but intangibles, give that edge right there to the New York Giants. I think this is a team that's finally quit whining in the newspapers and wants to play football.
Green Bay will get the ball first, and Matt Barr will kick off for the Giants. Corey Harris and Edgar Bennett are deep, and it'll be Harris returning a couple of yards in the end zone. And the Packers will begin just beyond the 15-yard line or close to it. Rookie quarterback Brett Favre, he played last year, but in sense this is his first year. And his offensive front, there have been some injuries there. Frank Winters will start at left guard in place of Rich Moran. Campen is the center. Hallstrom and Robbins on the right side, and Jackie Harris the tight end. Vince Workman and Harry Sidney are the running backs. Sterling Sharp, one to watch at wide receiver, along with Sanjay Beach. Sidney and Beach are ex-49ers. First down from the 15. And the handoff is to Vince Workman, and he doesn't get much, if anything. A gain of 1 yard. Pepper Johnson in on the stop for the Giants. Eric Dorsey, Eric Howard, and Leonard Marshall up front in a Giant base defense. Carl Banks, Pepper Johnson, Steve DiAsi, and Lawrence Taylor are the linebackers. Mark Collins and Perry Williams are the cornerbacks, and Greg Jackson and Lamar McGriggs are the safeties.
Dick, Mike Holmgren and these Packers have to at least make a token effort of throwing the ball. But the key to them moving the ball down the field is going to be throwing to the running backs and the wide receivers.
Second down and 9. And Favre to throw the first time, the tight end Jackie Harris. And he gets maybe a yard as Lamar McGriggs, who has been an aggressive safety playing for Myron Guyton, makes the stop, a gain of 3 yards, and that'll bring up third down.
And here's a situation that Mike Holmgren does not want to put Brett Favre in that often. He said the key was getting some yards on first down so they would not get very many third and longs. I don't like the matchup with the rushers, specifically Lawrence Taylor coming after Favre off that left side of the Packer line.
There's Lawrence Taylor. He is lined up on the right side of the defensive line. 3rd and 6 from the 19. Favre had some time. He's going to run for the first down, and he gets beyond the 30-yard line. So the receivers were covered, and Brett Favre has a gain of 11 yards for the Packers.
One thing that's kind of fun to look at, check this out on this nickel situation. Watch Pepper Johnson, watch him turn and run this way on coverage, and Favre drops, goes back, and runs right behind him, and Pepper really never sees him. Watch 52. Here he is, he's checking off, he's covering Vince Workman. There goes Favre. That was the hole Favre ran through for those yards.
And a first down on the 30-yard line of the Packers. And a play fake. Favre gets some pressure, and Lawrence Taylor comes in and swats it down.
Yeah, you know, I know Lawrence Taylor has said this is his last year and everything, but Mike Holmgren said it best. You know, he used to make 10 plays a game nobody else could make. Well, so now he only makes 5 plays a game nobody else can make. There still are a lot of guys in the league that would kill for half of this guy's talent.
And he made the big sack, forcing a fumble that Ray Handley said was the biggest play of the season for the Giants last week against the Redskins.
Oh, it was a patented move by Lawrence Taylor, too. He really brought that backside strip into vogue. Everybody seems to do it, but it wasn't until 81 when he started doing it a lot that people started copying it.
Second down and 10. Favre takes a short drop. Again, the receivers are covered. And the Giants give Favre 7 yards. Pepper Johnson is there. And it'll be 3rd and long for the Packers on this, the first series of the game.
And the key receiver in this Packer offense is Sterling Sharp. But as has happened the last month or so in the games for the Packers, they don't get to Sharp the ball early. People are doubling him up. They're sort of taking him out of the offense. And it forces him to go to guys like Jackie Harris and Vince Workman out of the backfield in these third down situations. If you have any sense when you're playing the Packers, you take 84 out of the game.
Packers are 8th in the NFL on third down conversions. They face a 3rd down and 8. Pressure on Favre, and he goes down. And Lawrence Taylor is making his presence felt in the first series in a loss of 5 yards.
Well, he's playing against Ken Rutgers, who's not the most aggressive offensive tackle, and also 52, Frank Winters is new. Watch the game over there. Leonard Marshall goes outside. Lawrence Taylor comes underneath, and it's a good job at taking advantage of a personnel change in the offensive line because Winters and Rutgers just aren't used to working next to each other.
5th sack of the game or the year for Taylor, and Paul McJulian, who has struggled this year as a kicker, end over end, takes a Green Bay bounce, and Dave Meggett will let it drop where it's down by Harris at the 32-yard line. A 41-yard kick by Paul McJulian, who was last in the NFC. Giants ball when we return. A much easier week for Ray Handley, especially from the New York press after the win over the Redskins, looking to make it 3 in a row today. And the Giants will start from their 32-yard line. First down and 10. Jeff Hostetler, the quarterback. He is 3-1 as a starting quarterback for the Giants, who go with 2 tight ends and 1 running back. And the handoff is to Rodney Hampton. And Hampton will lose a yard on the play with George Kuntz making the tackle. Jeff Hostetler leading the Giants in the offensive line. John Elliott, William Roberts, Bart Oates the center, Eric Moore and Doug Riesenberg on the right side, and Howard Cross used a lot more in the offense last week. Rodney Hampton and Jared Bunch, 2 outstanding backs, and Ed McCaffrey starts for Mark Ingram at wide receiver along with Stephen Baker. McCaffrey goes in motion, 2nd down and 11. Penalty marker down, and the pass by Hostetler is complete to Baker. It would be a first down of 15 yards, but there's a flag down. Roland Mitchell made the tackle on Baker. The referee today is Larry Nemmers, and the penalty will be against the Giants.
That was a little different out of the New York Giants there, Dick.
Illegal formation. The right tackle was uncovered on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards. Repeat, 2nd down.
The impressive thing about that last play to me was that Ray Handley went with a drop back pass. A lot has been made of, obviously they have a great running game. That sets up your play action. It shows a lot of faith by Ray Handley in his offensive line and his offense to go right to a drop back pass and not to the play action.
10.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 2nd down and 16. Lester Archambault and Bryce Paup up front on a 4-man line for the Packers. Giants looking to throw. Protection again, in the pass complete to McCaffrey. He's still going with it into Packer territory, and the Giants get a first down. 27-yard gain for Ed McCaffrey, making his first NFL start and a big target at 6'5".
Well, one thing that's missing in this picture is pressure on Jeff Hostetler. The Packers do not have anyone besides Tony Bennett that knows how to get after a quarterback. And look at the advantage that McCaffrey uses, that 6'5", 210-pound frame once he gets the ball. I mean, he's like a tight end who can move.
First down on the 48 of the Packers. No score, first quarter. Hostetler throwing left, and he's got Baker. Knocked out of bounds, and that should be another Giant first down. Roland Mitchell defending Stephen Baker, and a gain of 12 yards. Let's check out the Packers defense. Matt Brock, John Yurkovich, and Robert Brown up front in their base defense. George Kuntz, Vernell Dent, Johnny Holland, and their best pass rusher is Tony Bennett. Rookie Terrell Buckley and Roland Mitchell at the corners. Chuck Cecil and Leroy Butler are the safeties. Hostetler has the Giants on the Packer 36 in the pitch to Rodney Hampton. Trying to protect the ball, and he does it well with a host of Packers around him. Chuck Cecil was the first to reach him, and then Butler, and a good gain of 8 yards for Hampton.
The bad news for the Green Bay Packers on this drive so far is that Jeff Hostetler's been able to throw the ball effectively, and the offensive line for the Giants is just sort of mushing that defensive front of the Packers. That was not a real fancy play. They just had bodies on bodies, and the blue bodies weren't getting off the white bodies.
And the Giants are driving smartly. 2nd down and 3 on the Packer 39. And Jared Bunch gets the first carry for him today, and he is smacked hard by the middle of the line, Matt Brock. And then Leroy Butler comes up from the secondary and a gain of 1.
And, you know, we talked to Leroy Butler yesterday, and he talks about teams like to see a little strong safety, a 5'10", about 195 pounds, but here he is right there against a 250-pound fullback. You know, strong safeties don't spend a lot of time that close to the line of scrimmage. But if you're playing the New York Giants right now with this running game, you best have 8 or 9 guys at the line of scrimmage for the run.
Not only is Bunch big at 250, but he's got good speed at 4.5 for the 40. So here's 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 coming up. The Giants with 4 wide receivers. And Joey Smith goes in motion. Out of the shotgun is Hostetler. And he is being chased, and his pass was intended for Meggett, and Johnny Holland, the linebacker, was downfield covering. So the Packers doing a good job of closing it out, and Sebastian Brooks put some good pressure on Hostetler.
That was a really nice job of coverage, but more importantly for the Packers, with a 3-man rush, they were able to put some heat. You know, Barry came right underneath Riesenberg, working off that left defensive end position, and put some good heat on Hostetler.
This will be a 47-yard attempt by Matt Barr with Hostetler holding. Barr's longest successful field goal this year has been from 36 yards.
This is not a user-friendly kicking place for any kicker. You got to drive the ball low.
And the kick is going to be good as it just makes it over the crossbar. A 47-yard field goal for Matt Barr. His longest of the season, and the Giants move out in front 3-0.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart. And by Miller Lite, it's everything you want a beer to be.
Indian summer is but a memory as the chill of the autumn is with us, and this is our perfect football weather. Sunny skies, although the lights have been turned on here at Giant Stadium.
Anybody that calls this perfect football weather at 40 degrees obviously never lived at any time in California. That's where I grew up. Football weather is 70 degrees and we'll breathe.
Randy, this is football weather. Kickoff by Barr is fielded by Corey Harris. Harris gets a block, and Harris, with a good run back, is knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line by the kicker Matt Barr, and a return of 34 yards by the rookie wide receiver who was waived by Houston.
Well, you know, there's different ways of making tackles, and you're going to see Barr come up and not intimidate. He's kind of going to be a pest here because there's only one guy left, only one person, and that's the kicker. Look at that. He took a straight arm to the face, takes another straight arm to the chin. Harris knocks him down, but he just wouldn't go away, like one of those little gnats.
There is Matt Barr says that's a little much for me. First down on the 35. The Giants lead 3-0. And here's Vince Workman trying to go outside. And Workman gets to the 39-yard line. And a gain of 5 yards with Steve Diassi making the tackle.
And that sets up the situation that Mike Holmgren wants from the offensive standpoint for the Packers. Now it's 2nd and 5. Now you can run your little driving slanting patterns with a Sterling Sharp, one of your wide receivers, dump it off to a running back, and get your first down. You don't want to be 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, because that gives the defense too many options, and the Giants have too many weapons.
Again, Lawrence Taylor lines up. You see him at the top of that defensive line, and a play fake. Taylor trying to fight off a block in the pass to Harry Sidney, and he'll have a Packer first down close to midfield. A gain of 7 yards. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle on Sidney, who's all-round good running back for Green Bay.
This is an illustration of Brett Favre knowing the offense and then seeing what kind of things make Brett Favre special. Keeps his cool, keeps his wits about him, and dumps his ball off to Harry Sidney for a first down. But I'm always impressed with Brett Favre. He's got the great personality. He's got the natural leadership of a good quarterback, and he has so much fun playing football. I mean, he's still at that stage. It's not money, it's nothing else, it's just fun.
First down for the Packers on their 47. Double tight end. Favre fires it to Sterling Sharp. Favre and Sharp can team up effectively on the slant pattern, and they get into Giant territory and should have a first down with DiAsi covering Sharp.
Well, Sterling Sharp's starting to appreciate why they keep saying Jerry Rice in San Francisco gets hit in the head a lot on patterns. But when a receiver goes inside in this offense a lot, you're going to get your noggin knocked on a few times.
Sterling Sharp, second in the NFL with 50 catches coming into this game. He's also scored 6 touchdowns. First down, Packers on the Giant 43 with 5:10 remaining in the first quarter. Pressure on Favre, and the pass was intended for Sharp, and it was overthrown. Mark Collins wound up closest to the ball.
A little miscommunication. Look at Brett Favre laughing at the sideline. He told us, sometimes when I make mistakes in this offense, I'm not real nuts about looking over at the sideline and trying to find Mike Holmgren over there. He says he stands right next to Detmer, Mikowski, who's signaling me plays. I try to pretend I can't see Mike. I just concentrate on number 7.
Sometimes Mike finds him. Second down and 10 on the 43 of the Giants. Giants lead 3-0. Showing blitz, and Favre taking a pass deep finds Sharp, and Sharp is ruled out of bounds. He had 1 foot out of bounds, so it'll go as an incomplete pass. Third down coming up. Mark Collins was defending Sharp.
Good job by the Giants defense of disguising a blitz, or actually showing a blitz, and it wasn't a blitz, because Brett Favre goes to a 3-step audible for a quick blitz situation, and he's not getting it. And everybody's covered. He's got nowhere to go. You see 1 foot in, 2 feet in, right there. Well, that was a catch, but you know what? It don't matter, because it wasn't a catch.
Third down and 10. 3 wide receivers for the Packers. Here comes the blitz. Pepper Johnson blitzing. They didn't pick him up, and Favre has to get rid of it in a hurry. No one downfield, and the Giant defense has held the Packers for the second time. Pepper Johnson wants some help from the crowd, and it's 4th down.
And in this offense, there's always a hot receiver on a situation like that on 3rd down when you're getting the blitz. That time, the hot receiver was Sterling Sharp coming from the far side slot, but he got pressure so fast he didn't even have time to get to the hot guy.
That's Dave Meggett, who's deep for the Giants, and Paul McJulian punting for the second time. And the Giants block the kick. And they've got it. Louis Tillman brought down from behind. Ed Reynolds blocked the kick for the Giants, and Louis Tillman picked up the loose ball, and the Giants have the ball inside the Green Bay 35.
Well, there's a good illustration of why when you go into the game you say maybe the Giants have the edge on special teams. Here's a no-hitter, a Nolan Ryan, a complete whiff up the middle. Ed Reynolds just comes in and gets all over McJulian, And more importantly, for the Packers, McJulian is hobbled. He wasn't kicking good to start with, and now he's hurt.
He had a kick blocked against the Lions last Sunday. And the Giants in business again have a first down on the Green Bay 31. And a play fake. Hostetler fires, and the pass caught by Cross, the tight end, and he'll have another first down for the Giants inside the 20-yard line. A pickup of 12 yards with Cecil defending on the play.
Nolan Cromwell is the special teams coach for the Green Bay Packers. You know what the worst sound in the world is to a special teams coach? Listen. Yo, that bam bam, the double thud. Special teams coach don't like to hear that, especially when they're punting.
Giants with a first down on the Packer 18, leading 3-0 and trying to add to that lead. After delay, goes up the middle and reaches the 15-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards. McJulian had been struggling as a punter in recent weeks. Last week, he got off a 47-yarder before the block. And, of course, the Packers are hoping he can snap out of his slump. Well,
I tell you, he didn't get a very good punt the first time. The second one gets smothered. It's kind of like going to the first tee in front of about 20 of your best friends and whiffing the drive. It doesn't do wonders for your confidence.
Second down and 7 on the 15-yard line. Here is Jared Bunch cutting inside and finally wrestled down at about the 12-yard line. The Giants are perfect inside the red zone this year. They are a perfect 28 for 28, 19 touchdowns and 9 field goals, and that was a problem last year.
And the impressive part about that isn't the fact that they've scored a lot. It's the fact that they've gotten 19 touchdowns out of those possessions. That's an extremely high average in a league-wide way to look at it. This is a team that has executed and specifically has just pounded the ball and gotten the ball very effectively to Howard Cross and Derek Brown at the tight end position.
And you just saw one of their big weapons, David Mega, check in on 3rd down and 4. Hostetler out of the shotgun. And pressure on Hostetler, and he's brought down at the 20-yard line by Tony Bennett. And that is Bennett's 6th sack of the year. He has 6.5, and a loss of 8 yards will force the Giants to go for the field goal.
Here's Tony Bennett working on Big Jumbo Elliott, and that was a quick one. That one was over on about the 3rd step, and Bennett is the threat for the Green Bay Packers rushing the passer, and they only brought 3 guys. Only 3 defensive linemen came. 1 linebacker stopped and sort of hung back to spy on Hostetler, and everybody else was covered.
38-yard attempt by Barr, who was successful from 47 yards before. And this kick is good. Barr with 2 field goals, and with 2:11 to go in the first quarter, 6-0 the Giants.
You are watching the National Football League on CBS Sports.
When you consider the Giants started from the Packer 31 and they did not get in the end zone, Bennett with a key sack, the Packers are not all in that bad shape, trailing only 6-0.
Well, Mike Homer's in a situation now where his players are kind of going, well, gee, we're here in New York, we're playing a good team in the Giants, and we're hanging in there. If we can hold them to field goals, we've got a chance, because his team all year long has gotten off to just horrendous starts. If they're not fumbling, they're getting kicks blocked, or something bad is always happening.
And the kick, penalty marker down, is returned by Corey Harris. Harris trying to turn the corner, and he does. And he is stopped just shy of the 30-yard line by Chris Callaway, but there was a flag up at the point where the Giants kicked off.
That's back in the offsides area of the special teams.
Offsides on the kicking team.
See, Corey Harris is trying to tell him we don't want that. He goes to the quarterback. Are you sure you don't want that?
Penalty is refused. 1st and 10.
Well, the Packers like their position on that kickoff return and will start from the 24-yard line. Exactly 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. You mentioned that the Packers have gotten off to slow starts. They've been outscored 40-14 in first quarters. Here at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, this is Dick Stockton along with Randy Cross. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The Giants, by virtue of 2 Matt Barr field goals, lead the Packers 6-0. And the Pack will start from their 25-yard line. Ken Rutgers, who has to keep Lawrence Taylor at bay. And Vince Workman dives forward and picks up fine yardage on first down, 6 yards. Again, that's what Mike Holmgren relishes. Workman picking up those yardage. He is the leading rusher coming into this game, coming off a 101-yard effort against the Lions.
But this Giant defense is a lot different from that demoralized group in Detroit that they ran the ball against last week. If he's going to keep doing that and keep running this ball effectively, it's going to be up to his guys in front to gash this front 7 and get them past the linebackers in the line.
Sharp lines up to the bottom of your screen. 2nd down and 4. And on the end around, here is Robert Brooks, the rookie wide receiver, who has got good speed, but an open field tackle by Mark Collins prevents a bigger gain. He got 6 yards, and that may be enough for a Packer first down, but Collins really saved some big yardage.
I tell you, having played in this offense, I can tell you one thing. If you're a backside guard and you pull around and you're supposed to block a corner, watch Frank Winters come around here and almost stop and hesitate. What's he doing? Trying to put moves on a guy that's 3 times as fast as him? Run at him. Make him make a decision. You can't have that hesitation because the guy behind you with the ball has absolutely no idea what you're going to do. He can see the DB.
First down on the 36 of the Packers. Leonard Marshall might have been drawn off sides by the left side of the Packer line. Larry Nemmers will sort it out.
Offside, number 70 defense.
But it's against
running unabated toward the quarterback.
Leonard Marshall.
5 yards, first down.
Well, that's a case of James Campen, their center, who they have back now after being out on injured reserve with a knee injury. Just seeing Marshall jump and being a good veteran smart guy, as most centers are, I must say, he just snaps the ball and gets his offense a little 5-yard penalty.
You speak from experience.
Oh yeah, of course. They're sort of the fat quarterbacks, you know. Not many big fat quarterbacks, but if you're big, you're fat, you're smart, they put you at center because you got to run that line.
21 seconds and the clock running. First down and 5, and Workman runs into a big Giant defensive line and picks up 4 yards. Steve DiAsi was the man to reach him. They're shy of the first down by about a yard, and that should be the last play of the first quarter. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Giant Stadium with a score: the Giants 6 and the Packers nothing. Start of the second quarter, the Giants leading the Packers 6-0.
And this is sort of, it's all up to Brett Favre here for this offense to move it along, but this is sort of Brett does New York for the second time. He said when he was in high school, he and a group of, 27 country guys from Mississippi came out up here and they're throwing pennies off the Empire State Building, which sounded real safe. And they got to the bottom, saw ambulances. And he says, well, I didn't think anything of that. This is New York. There's ambulances all over the place. They're dipping skull and spitting off the building. And whoa.
Guess he never considered how fast those pennies go when they're off 106 floors.
Well, there's probably not too many 100-story buildings in Kill, Mississippi.
Second down and 1 for the Packers as we start the second quarter. And Workman bounces off a defender and gets a first down. As he reaches midfield, a gain of 5 yards. Pepper Johnson making the stop on Workman.
You know, Workman's been a running back for the Green Bay Packers. It's basically done everything Mike Holmgren's asked him to do. You know, they'd like to get Edgar Bennett in there. They'd like to get Thompson in there. There's a lot of guys they'd like to get in there, but every time they do, you know, Thompson's dinged up or Bennett puts the ball on the ground, and Mike Holmgren finds himself going back to Vince Workman, whose greatest crime in life as football player is probably just being a very steady, good guy.
First down in midfield, and the pass up the middle is caught by Jackie Harris, the tight end. And once again, the Packers get good yardage on first down. 8 yards on the play with DiAsi covering a fine receiver from the tight end spot.
Well, Jackie Harris adds a lot to this offense. They've had Ed West in the past, who's one of the better blocking tight ends in the league. But since they got Harris and they adopted this new offensive style, the position of tight end has actually become a weapon.
Mike Holmgren says he could see Jackie Harris someday being an all-pro tight end. Second down and 2 on the Giant 42-yard line. And it's Workman. He's got room off the left side. And the Packers will have another first down as Workman is knocked out of bounds by Perry Williams. And a gain of 7 yards. Workman, by the way, coming into the game with 500 yards. That's more than the Packer leader a year ago.
Watch his whole side of the field get sealed off. Big Ron Hallstrom's coming around. He's got nobody to hit. Good job by the left side of the line and Sterling Sharp. Check this out. Blocking on McGriggs. Gets a little wall block. Gets a Hallstrom shoulder in the ear hole for his efforts and did his part.
Sterling Sharp loves to block. First down on the Giant 35. 6-0 in favor of the Giants. And wide open is Sharp. And he's got a first down inside the 25-yard line. Perry Williams making the play at a gain of 12 yards for Sharp.
Sterling Sharp is just now getting to be recognized as one of the elite receivers in the NFL. And what he does well, as do most of the great ones, the Risens and the Rices and the Jeffries and whatnot, he runs extremely well after he gets the ball. And a lot of that is due to his well above average upper body strength he has for a receiver. Here's a guy that doesn't mind blocking, getting in there and body slamming, and uses that strength when he runs with the ball.
He's their big weapon. And the Packers threaten with a first down on the Giant 22. They send Workman in motion to the right. And the pitch is to Harry Sidney. And Sidney dives forward inside the 20-yard line. Harry Sidney scored the first Packer rushing touchdown last week against the Detroit Lions, and a valuable all-purpose running back.
Yeah, he had to put up a little grief from Sterling Sharp. Sharp says, yeah, you know Harry and Terrell Buckley have more. They're tied for the lead in ground touchdowns on this team. You know, Harry got one last week, and Buckley's had him on punt returns. But Harry's been a guy that knows this offense, was with the 49ers, and has come in here and was sort of an instant big leader, instant team leader for the Packers. They didn't always appreciate it early. They said, well, who is this guy? But he's really been a great addition to this team.
Pepper Johnson was shaken off, and he goes out of the game for the Giants. We'll check on his replacement. Second down and 7 on the 19-yard line. Brett Favre. Pass is caught by Sterling Sharp. Well, at least in this first half, the Packers are finding a way to get the ball to Sterling Sharp, something they haven't been able to do. There's a penalty marker down after a 10-yard play with Jackson and Collins. And the flag will be apparently against the Packers.
Number 87 offense. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
That'll nullify a 10-yard gain.
And that's the kind of mistakes that Mike Holmgren and this offense have been making. Mike Holmgren's offense, I should say, have been making all year long. When things are going well and they're moving the ball between the 20s, they're great. When they get in that red zone scoring area, they just incessantly jump off sides or do something dumb and set themselves back.
Ninth play of the drive coming up. Second down and 12. Corey Miller is in now for Pepper Johnson. Giants are showing blitz. They pull back. Favre's pass, and it's caught by Sterling Sharp. Almost an identical pass pattern to the one that was called back because of the penalty. A gain of 9 yards with Jackson and then Collins making the play.
Well, in this offensive style, if you don't stop something, you're going to see it again and again and again. And as Sterling Sharp thought, he's seeing an awful lot of Collins covering him. But you got to give Sharp a little due and respect. And Collins, by laying off him, is leaving that underneath pattern wide open.
Ed Reynolds is in for Corey Miller for the Giant defense. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the 15. And Ed West has come in as the second tight end for the Packers. And Favre fires and the pass is caught by Jackie Harris. Looked like he was on his way down when he made the reception, and a tough throw for the Bulldog Brett Favre, and a 10-yard pickup and first down for the Pack.
Good improvisation because the Giants are doing a nice job of covering. Brett Favre tries to step up. He's about to go down. And to Jackie Harris's credit, what kind of concentration did that take? That was a great catch. But, you know, look at the Giants' defense. They've been a little less fired up. They don't look to have that spring. And that's one thing Pepper Johnson adds to this defensive team is the intensity and really the toughness.
First and goal on the 5. Packers trailing 6-0, and Workman in the game is stacked up at about the 3. And that's where the Packers will run their next play. Ed Reynolds and Eric Dorsey making the tackle. We have 9:35 remaining in the first half. Giants on 2 Matt Barr field goals in the first quarter, lead 6-0, and Green Bay trying to take the lead themselves.
In Green Bay, if you're going to put the ball in the end zone here, I got a funny feeling against this big physical defense. You best do it with a play action, or you best do it with a pass, because I don't like your chances of pounding the ball in the middle against this defense.
Few teams are able to do that. Second and goal, and here is Workman, and he'll score up the middle for the touchdown. And the Green Bay Packers have tied the score on Vince Workman's first touchdown rushing this year.
I stand corrected. Mike Holmgren, nice call. Little sprint draw, and it goes right up the middle. If you look at the linebackers, as many of them as you can see, watch how they react. They're hesitant, they're soft, they're thinking pass, and that opens up the inside of that defense for really an easy touchdown run by Workman. Remember, that's only the second rushing touchdown of 1992 for the Packers.
Chris Jackie was perfect, 12 for 12, and the extra point is good. It was not a good snap, but Workman gained 32 yards and 8 carries on that drive and capped it with a 3-yard score.
This game summary is sponsored by Keystone.
Packers lead 7-6 on Workman's 3-yard touchdown run. The Giants have 2 field goals from Matt Barr, one of them coming after an Ed Reynolds block punt, as the Packers went 75 yards in 12 plays. A fine drive to take the lead. And it was capped by Workman's 3-yard touchdown run, and what a difference it is playing under Mike Holmgren than it is for Workman when he played under Lindy Infante.
Well, for the last few years, Workman never really got his shot, never got his opportunity. And one of the things he really emphasized when he talks to you is, you know, I wasn't asking for anything other than really sort of an open competition and a chance to show what I can do. And when you get a new staff, everybody's got a chance to show what they can do, and he has.
Chris Jackie will kick off, and it's a line drive squibber. And Joey Smith picks it up, penalty markers fly, and Smith is tackled at the 17-yard line.
Oh, with that much hesitation and standing around, you got to think one or two things happened. Either a quick face mask or somebody had a hold of somebody and was pushing him in the back.
Illegal block in the back on number 57 during the run back. 10 yards from the end of the run. Half the distance from the end of the run. First down.
Corey Miller, and the Giants will start deep in their own territory.
Look at two things right here. Watch Ron Hallstrom working on Howard, gets a good block. But watch Ed Reynolds in for Pepper Johnson backside. Watch the indecision he has. Is this a run? Is this a pass? What do I do? Should I fill? Too late. Camping's on you, and this is 6.
They're working on Pepper Johnson, who suffered a slightly sprained knee, and he is expected to get back for the Giants.
That Giants defense needs Pepper Johnson just for his fire.
First down, and Rodney Hampton going off the left side, and Burnell Dent knocks him down inside the 10-yard line. A loss of 1 yard as the Packers came out defensively with their nickel package. And that included Bryce Poff as a defensive rusher.
What you don't want to do when you're at home playing an underdog and a team that's really made a lot of mistakes all year long and could take the opportunity to say, well, gee, maybe these guys are better than us. You don't want to let a team like that hang in and think they can beat you and have a chance, and that's exactly what the Giants are doing right now.
David Meggett is in the lineup for the Giants. Second down and 11 from the 8-yard line. On the draw play to Meggett. And Meggett is slammed down by Chuck Cecil, who isn't big, but he can hit big time, and a gain of only 3 yards. And is he excited?
He's a rabid dog. Look at that guy. I love that guy. He loves to fill. Some guys hit with their shoulders. Some guys hit with their heads. Chuck Cecil hits with all 195 pounds of his body. He doesn't leave anything behind. He'll hit you with his shoelaces. Watch this. All the way through. Form tackle. And that's the kind of play and the kind of hit that gets a defense and an opposing offense attention.
Celebrating his 28th birthday today, and he celebrates with a crunching hit on Meggett. 3rd down and 7 for the Giants. Hostetler has time to throw, and his pass to Meggett is ruled incomplete. Meggett did not have possession, and he was hit hard at the 35-yard line by, you know it, Chuck Cecil for the 2nd straight play.
Chuck Cecil playing deep center field just came up and chomped his chops. Watch this. Chuck Cecil says, you know, I don't like interceptions. I'd rather hit somebody. Interceptions just last, the glory lasts for a couple seconds. That kind of contact, especially on back-to-back plays, Dave Meggett is going to check for Chuck Cecil's license plate for the rest of this day.
Sean Landeta will kick from inside the Giant end zone, and Terrell Buckley is back deep on a fine kick by Landeta. A beauty, and Buckley starts from the 38-yard line of the Packers, but he gets a good enough return to bring it near midfield. A gain of 9 on the return, with Philippi Sparks making the tackle. So the Packers have the lead, and they'll have the ball when we return to Giant Stadium. Coming up next, final round action in the Amoco Centel Championship, and a big lead for Don Pooley. An 8-shot lead through 3 rounds, and that'll follow our game here at Giant Stadium. Best starting field position for the Packers. They're on their own 47, 1st down, leading 7-6. Brett Favre with a marker down completes the short crossing pass to Harry Sidney. There are 2 flags down. A gain of 2 with Carl Banks making the stop on Sidney.
I know the way that flag was thrown. That's holding.
Yep. Came from the umpire.
I've been hit by a few of those flags. I know where those things are coming from.
Holding. Offense. Number 63. 10 yards. Repeat,
James
1st down.
Campen, the center.
Now, this little conversation was going on right after that last hit by Chuck Cecil. You know, a veteran like Otis Anderson telling the young guy, Meggett, now look, don't let that last couple of hits get in your head. Don't start thinking about that. You know, Otis, I saw the best hit I've ever seen in my life. Keena Turner hit Otis Anderson when he was playing halfback for the St. Louis Cardinals. Knocked 3 of his teeth out, knocked him out. I mean, it was a KO punch, and he knows about getting hit.
1st down and 20. Back at the 37-yard line, and the wraparound draw play to Workman. A play that's familiar to the San Francisco 49ers. Eric Howard, the nose man, makes the stop. And right now, let's check in with Greg Gumbel for an update. Greg?
All right, Dick, at the Pontiac Silverdome, watch Emmitt Smith stretch for his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. 2nd quarter, Cowboys leading the Lions 14-3. Dick?
Oh, the beat goes on for the Cowboys.
And it's the beating goes on for the Detroit Lions. That is a very, very sorry football team right now. Can't blame it on their offensive line. Can't blame it on a lot of things. They're just terrible.
Heard from Jerry Ball on the pregame show. He was emphatic. 2nd down and 16 on the 41. Workman with good acceleration breaks 1 tackle and loses the ball, and the Giants may recover. And they do. The Giants recover a Packer fumble. And they recover in Green Bay territory. Carl Banks put the pressure on and made the hit for the Giants.
When you got a team that's fired up and they're trying to make things happen, it goes over to everybody. The offensive line tries to make things happen. The quarterback will force balls in from time to time to make things happen. And running backs try to make things happen by churning and twisting and turning. And that's what happened right there to Vince Workman when he fumbled that ball. Watch this coming, going to the right. Keep an eye on number 56, Lawrence Taylor, coming from the backside. There's a twist. There's the turn, and there's the strip by LT.
Eric Howard recovered the fumble for the Giants, and the Packers have now lost 13 fumbles this year, most in the NFC, and Lawrence Taylor right in the middle of it.
Teams designate blockers for Lawrence Taylor. Here's Sterling Sharp coming this way. LT goes this way. He used to catch him coming this way, but it doesn't matter how you get it. It's the fact that you get it.
First down on the 41-yard line, and Jared Bunch going off the right side picks up 4 yards on the play. Leroy Butler and Tony Bennett were in on the play.
And for the second week in a row, Dick, Lawrence Taylor comes up with a huge defensive play when the other team's momentum is jumping out away from him, getting away from the Giants. He did it last week in stripping Mark Rippon of that ball in the 4th quarter. He does it now when the Packers look like they were going to get a chance to get down and get more points on this Giants defense.
People forget he's working against the standard that he has set in the NFL, a pretty high one indeed. Second down and 6 from the Packer 37. And here's Rodney Hampton, and he doesn't get much. And a good play by Leroy Butler. And the crowd, which had to appreciate when they watched the Giants with a more innovative offense against the Redskins last week, not pleased with Ray Handley's ball control here.
Well, you know, you hate to disagree with this many people because I'm only one little guy and I got to get out of here at sometime later this afternoon. But Ray Handley's doing what they do well, and what they do well is pound the ball. If you got Jeff Hostetler throwing the ball 30, 35 times a game, you're in trouble. They have got to run the ball effectively to be a good offense.
Third down and 5 from the 36. Out of the shotgun, Meggett is in the lineup. Hostetler is going deep for Stephen Baker, and Baker makes the catch as the Packer defender, Terrell Buckley, was not watching the ball, and a gain of 33 yards. First and goal for the Giants.
Well, rookie, you want to be a starting cornerback in the NFL? What kind of pain and suffering do you go through your first year? Watch Terrell Buckley working out here against Stephen Baker. He's got the speed. He's got the ability. He's not looking at the ball. He's trying to jump up and time it by watching Baker's hands, and Baker just sort of waits and patiently waits until he clears. I believe it was Chick Hearn used to talk about the mustard coming off the hot dog on that one.
The Old Laker basketball broadcaster. First and goal at the 2-yard line, and Hampton gets in for the touchdown. Rodney Hampton has scored his 8th touchdown rushing on the season, and the Giants capitalize on the Packer fumble with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, I guess they're curing now, so they like the last 2 play calls. They didn't like that run up the middle, but they liked the long pass to the right, and that run up the middle was just fine with them for 6 points.
And Matt Barr will try to give the Giants a 13-7 lead, and he does. Rodney Hampton gives the Giants their first touchdown of the game. That's 8 for the season. Along with Randy Cross, this is Dick Stockton here at Giants Stadium. The Giants lead 13-7. They've capitalized on a block punt, getting a field goal in the first quarter by Matt Barr, and then the Packers fumbled, and the Giants went 41 yards, capped by Rodney Hampton's score to make it 13-7. So Barr will kick off. Edgar Bennett is on the left, and Corey Harris on the right for the Packers. And the kick is headed for Harris at the 3. And Harris is stacked up at the 25-yard line. A 22-yard return by
Well, there's complicated football, and then there's basic football. You send your guard here, you get a good block by Riesenberg here, and you lead your fullback right into Johnny Holland's face. This is just down and dirty old lead block football. They cheated that fullback up bunch a little bit, didn't care that the defense knew where he was coming. They just went right after him.
Here's Riesenberg on the sidelines. And Bunch, who made the crunching block on the play. First down on the 25 for the Packers. An audible call by Brett Favre. Quick pass to Jackie Harris. And it takes a couple of Giants to bring him down after an 8-yard pickup. Pepper Johnson and Carl Banks.
I think you have to be impressed with the poise of Brett Favre in this situation. Comes right out after a big turnover like that. The other team's got some momentum going. He's right in his game plan. He knows what the defense is doing to him right now, and just pops that little quick audible in there and gets an easy gimme 5, 6, 7 yards.
He's gained the confidence of his teammates with his bulldog approach. Second down and 2 on the Packer 33. Short drop and the pass to Workman out of the backfield, and he'll have a Green Bay first down with Johnson on the stop. Keep in mind the Packers have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Workman coming into this game leading the National Football League running backs in catches.
And having a good year running the ball, but importantly for the Green Bay Packers, we talked about them being able to move the ball between the 20s. Here's a situation with almost 2 minutes left here in the second quarter of Green Bay having plenty of time and opportunity to move down for at least 3.
Giants have 2 defensive linemen in there on first down from the 36 and off the hands of Jackie Harris. And Favre appealing to referee Larry Nemmers about something.
I believe it's called pleading for a penalty.
So Favre is 9 for 13, 9 for 14 for 71 yards. On our 2-minute warning, we'll return. Coming up on the NFL Today halftime report, Greg and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from today's action, plus a look at the newest trend in the league, the ump bump. How referees have become too close to the action. That's coming up at halftime. Here's a guy that got bumped a little, well, in baseball they call it chin music. He's got a little tape.
When was the last time you saw a baseball player have to get stitches during a game, though?
Still looking for that. Second down and 10, and Workman tried to cut inside, doesn't get much, and Pepper Johnson, who was shaken up earlier but looks as good as ever, holds Workman a no gain.
And that's that kind of fire, that enthusiasm this Giants defense needs and gets when they've got Pepper Johnson in there. You know, there's people who would argue that physically there's better linebackers in the NFL. You know, maybe there are, but I don't know if there's an inside linebacker that's more instrumental to the psychological makeup of his defensive team than Pepper is.
And quite an emotional asset as well. The Packers have called a timeout. Giants lead 13-7. Jeff Hostetler keeping warm. The Packers have just used their first timeout, and they're facing third down and 10.
Well, Hostetler's warming up on the sideline because he knows he's going to have plenty of time left if his defense can stuff the Packers here. And the challenge for Favre is to get the ball to Sterling Sharp and get this first down.
1:27 to go in the half. Here comes Taylor. Favre steps up, and the pass is caught by Jackie Harris. And Jeff Hostetler is going to have to wait a while as the Packers pick up a first down, a gain of 12 yards. In their 2-minute drill, Renee Thompson makes the stop for the Giants. Penalty marker down. And that appears to be against the Packers.
They'll call that on the Packers because everyone wasn't set. There's a little motion there before the snap.
Full start. Number 75, offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Wincing on the sidelines is Mike Holmgren. That was Ken Rutgers. Of course, has to keep an eye out on Lawrence Taylor.
We talked about the mistakes this Packer offense has made this year, and that does kill a Mike Holmgren. He's come from a veteran team in the San Francisco 49ers that knew that offense by heart. And these guys right now are still struggling with what to do, but they practice a 2-minute offense a lot. This is a strength.
First down and 15. Favre has time, and Sterling Sharp is wrestled down by Mark Collins. The forward motion for Sharp will give him a 2-yard gain to about the 45 as the clock continues to run under a minute. Favre calling the play. Packers still have 2 timeouts left. Second down and 13. Favre's pass again up the middle to midfield. And it is caught by Jackie Harris for a gain of 5 as the Packers use up a timeout.
That was a good show right there. Did you see Brett Favre look to the sideline to Mike Holmgren and then turn around and call that timeout? Brett Favre in another year or 2 from now won't need Mike Holmgren to tell him what to do. He's a rookie. He doesn't want to make mistakes. When he gets the confidence and the experience in this offense, he'll know darn well when he's supposed to call a timeout, and he can save those extra seconds on the clock that he might need in a couple plays.
Packers thought enough of him to acquire him from the Atlanta Falcons for a #1 draft pick.
And he's worth everything. It doesn't matter. I mean, they might have given up a #1, but you don't find quarterbacks like this that not only have the physical weapons, but have the head for it. You know, because Brett Favre, he gets ripped a lot by Mike Holmgren. Mike Holmgren yells at him. Mike Holmgren teaches him. Mike Holmgren motivates him, but the kid's strong enough mentally to take that kind of abuse.
And the way the wind blows here at Giant Stadium, the Packers would have the wind at their backs if they try a long field goal. There's the wind. Third down and 8 from midfield. 4 wide receivers for Green Bay. And the pass is dropped by Brooks. Robert Brooks had an easy first down, but he could not hold on to the ball. And the rookie from South Carolina can't hold on to the third down pass.
Once again, the Packers getting no production, no cooperation out of the other receiver position. Jackie Harris, a tight end, does his thing. Sterling Sharp does his thing. Workman does his thing. They get absolutely nothing out of their ex-receiver.
So there's Meggett, and McJulian has already had 1 punt block today. They're adjusting the clock on the scoreboard. McJulian claims that he has tendinitis in his plant foot.
Well, he's had too many defenders on his kicking leg. That's more of a problem than tendinitis.
He gets off a high wobbly kick, and Meggett will let it drop. And the Packers will down it at about the 11-yard line. And that was Bryce Pop, so the Giants have a long way to go, and to back up his claim, McJulian limps off the field. So Hostetler brings the Giants, who have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and they've got a long way to go, leading in the game 13-7 with 23 seconds remaining in the half.
Well, Jeff Hostetler and the Giants might take a shot in this situation, but expect them just here. They're just going to flop on it. Go in. They got 3 timeouts. They're backed up. You don't want to make any dumb mistakes.
And that'll do it for the first half, and Ray Handley's Giants briefly trailed 7-6, but a touchdown off of a turnover has given the Giants a 6-point lead. And that is the end of the first half here at Giant Stadium with the score. The Giants 13 and the Packers 7.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac and your nearby Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. Desk Jet Printers from Hewlett-Packard. Desk Jet Printers, make it happen. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get. Guaranteed at McDonald's today.
The tight end in a big game to midfield. Johnny Holland was covering downfield, and a big gain of 25 for the Giants.
Well, it's been a few years since the Giants had a real weapon like Howard Cross at tight end. You know, Bavaro got that knee injury, and he's not here anymore. But the big guy here out of Alabama has really added a nice dimension to the offense. Phil Simms was more of a quarterback that liked to throw to a tight end. Hostetler's more of a wide receiver, running backs kind of a guy. But with this kind of a weapon available, he's learning to love throwing to tight ends.
Cross hadn't caught a pass for 5 weeks before he caught 3 against the Redskins. Now first down in midfield and Hostetler. And the pass is incomplete. He was going to McCaffrey, who was one of the heroes in last Sunday night's win. Buckley was covering the big second-year receiver from Stanford.
And both Mitchell on one side and Buckley on the other are giving these giant receivers an awful lot of room, giving them an awful lot of respect. When you do that, you set yourself up a lot of times for double moves. In that I mean the old, stop and go, whatever you want to call it, the curl and go, the out and up. That really opens that up for an offense, and look for the Giants on a play-action type situation to try to take advantage of it.
Second down and 10. And Rodney Hampton gets about a yard. Hampton gained 11 yards on 6 carries in the first half, but scored the lone Giant touchdown. Johnny Holland made the tackle.
And we saw where the Giants were averaging 2.1 yards per rush in that first half, and it was another good job there on a running play by that whole Packer defense. You talk about maintaining gap responsibilities, and that's not blitzing. That's knowing if I'm responsible for this gap just inside of me, I'm going to be all over it. And every gap was filled on that one last run.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 8 with 4 wide receivers. Hostetler. And a fine play from behind made by Bryce Paup. And a gain of only 3 yards as Hostetler was taking off to run, and he might have picked up enough yardage were it not for Paup.
Well, Paup does a very nice job. He's going to come in here and bring this pressure on Hostetler. Things just break down. There's coverage pressure and there's coverage sacks and whatnot. Just a good job. Paup gets in there a little late, but there's nobody open. The Packers are only rushing 3, and they're dropping 8, and they're covering everything underneath.
And Landeta will be kicking, and Buckley is back there, and a fair catch is called for by the Packers. Buckley and Chuck Cecil were both back there to return the kick, but it's out of the end zone, and Green Bay will take over from the 20. How hard does Chuck Cecil play? We saw some of his hits, and there his nose is further evidence to the helter-skelter style of the Green Bay Packers free safety.
Dick, you got a guy that can hit like that? Imagine you're a receiver or a running back, and you look at him, and he doesn't care about that on his nose. If he doesn't care about his body, what do you think he thinks about theirs?
We saw what he thought of David Meggett's. First down on the 22 tight ends for the Packers, and Favre finds Sterling Sharp up the middle, and a good gain on first down of 9 yards. Taylor and Diassi inside making the stop. Sharp has 5 catches on the day.
And Sterling had 50 coming into the day, and a lot of those passes he's had so far, 92, have come in exactly that territory. In this offense, they don't go down the field too much. They like to throw balls somewhere in that 0 to 15-yard area.
Second down and 1. Workman, and he dives forward for the Packer first down. Gain of 3 yards. Talked about how Favre is not going deep and not stretching the defense, and he has been going under with most of his passing so far today.
Well, I think it's very, very clear to see when you're talking about 12 of 17 passes or from 0 to 10 yards. I mean, that's pretty amazing that you're making all your living inside. And we talked about moving the ball between the 20s and using the passes to run. That's exactly what this offense is based at without the stretching ability.
They have not completed a pass of 20 yards thus far. First down from the 32, and the pass is caught by Sterling Sharp, and another first down. A pickup of 13 yards, and Sharp having another fine day. Mark Collins and then McGriggs, the strong safety, and a gain of 13.
Even though he's the only weapon, you got to still give this guy some room, and you got to give him some respect. You can't just gang up on him. And Collins is giving Sterling Sharp plenty of room. And if this offense can remain patient and remain error-free, it's doing what it does best, and that's move the ball and run time off the clock and keep the other offense off the field.
Can you imagine what the Packers will be like when they get another receiver to support him? First down on the 45 on the delay. Workman on the trap up front, slices off tackle and gets close to midfield, and a gain of 4 yards for Vince Workman. Pepper Johnson for the Giants.
Jim McMahon and the Eagles seem to be rebounding quite well against the Raiders at 17-3.
Although Randall Cunningham will be the quarterback against these Packers next week in Milwaukee, according to Rich Kotite.
Even the great ones need to be motivated a little bit from time to time. Don't feel sorry for Randall Cunningham. He'll have a long, great career in the NFL. He just needed a little jolt.
Second down and 6 from the 49, and the pass to Jackie Harris, trying to stretch his way for the first down. I think he was short there, but he gets 4 yards with Renee Thompson making the tackle as the Packers move into Giant territory. Keep in mind they're trailing by only 6 points with 9:40 remaining in the third quarter. Harris, with 7 catches for 50 yards, has been the leading receiver for the Packers today.
Packers are going to a 3 tight end situation here.
They bring in Darrell Ingram, number 88, their third tight end, so it's Harris, West, and Ingram on 3rd and 2.
This is a good opportunity for Brett Favre on a little swing pass or a quick pop to one of these tight ends to get this first down.
And here's Workman, and he stopped short of the first down. As the Giant defense closes with Eric Dorsey, who's had a fine year, and a pickup of 1 yard. So it'll be 4th and short for the Packers.
If you're going to do some things against the Giants, I think you only do them a couple times. And already Mike Holmgren and these Packers have gotten a few shots running the ball in like this and then coming back for a first down. Watch the front of this defense maintain the space, maintain the continuity between them and their blockers. There is nowhere for them to go. And Eric Dorsey comes off that block wonderfully, and the Packers are going for it.
It is 4th down and 2. And now, again, they must adjust the clock. Packers will go for it on 4th and 2 and a gamble for Mike Holmgren, trailing by 6.
I like this call because it gives this Packer team a chance to really get into this game psychologically. This will be a huge confidence booster.
And Favre is signaling that the Giants are guilty of encroachment, and they're going to might be successful here.
I think Leonard Marshall jumped off and made contact, which would make him offsides. Naturally, he can jump over it, but if he gets back and doesn't make contact, it's not offsides, but he looked to make contact.
False start on the quarterback, on the offensive team.
It's against the Packers, and Mike Holmgren is angry at that call.
Five yards.
He's mad. Watch the head of Brett Favre. Watch this right here. See what he does. They're calling this an offsides, a head bob. See that jerking motion? That's the call. They're calling that on the quarterback. And I think that was a terrible call. That was not enough motion to be a head bob. The Giants did come across. They did make contact, and Mike Holmgren's got every reason to be mad about that one.
The Packers will have to punt as a result of the penalty, and Paul McJulian gets a high kick, but not a good one. And it bounces at the 30-yard line where it's down by the Packers at the 30. So McJulian continues to have punting problems. They have had great patience with this young man. The kick went only 22 yards. Randy, it's surprising that the Packers and Mike Holmgren have had so much patience with McJulian, who continues to have problems one way or another in almost every game.
Well, kickers are just like golfers. Sometimes their swing's there, and sometimes the swing just sort of leaves them. And at this point, Paul McJulian's swing is somewhere between a hook and a shank, but there's never really too much right down the middle. He's having a tough time, and there's a good reason that not too many kickers have spent their whole career in any one team. They move around a lot because their abilities and their consistency fluctuate a lot.
Giants average starting position, their own 34, is pretty good as Rodney Hampton tries to go off the left side, but he is stopped short by Robert Brown. Hey, the Packers defense has done a terrific job, particularly against the Giant rush coming into this game. Remember, the Giants leading the NFL in rushing coming in.
Well, in Hampton, we talked an awful lot at the NFL today about how great a year Hampton's having and how physical this line is. Remember, Hampton had 11 yards rushing. Sure, he had the touchdown, but he had 11 yards rushing in the first half. That just kind of illustrates the kind of job this defense is doing.
Second down and 10. Hostetler with a fade pattern, and it's knocked down by Mitchell. Cecil came over to help on Stephen Baker as well, but Roland Mitchell, who replaced Vinnie Clark at starting cornerback, with a fine defensive play.
Well, we talked about him testing Buckley on that other side and getting back over here to Mitchell sooner or later, and here's them taking their shot. Nice play position by Mitchell. He just stood between Baker and the ball and wouldn't let him at him.
Third down and 10. Giants on their 30. Brett Favre on the phone. Callaway and Smith are the extra wide receivers for the Giants. Hostetler dumps it off to Dave Meggett. And Meggett is knocked out of bounds, and he is short of the first down by a couple of yards. And Chuck Cecil once again, tell you, Dave Meggett is going to see Chuck Cecil in his dreams tonight.
Number 20, the unguided missile from Green Bay came through here, came out of nowhere on this screen. It was actually very well set up. The Giants do a good job of selling. They sell, they sell. They set this thing up very well. Now watch the blur come from the right. Here he comes. I tell you what, Meggett gave a little wiggle there at the end because he saw 26 coming.
And Cecil's play prevented the first down. So Sean Landetta will be kicking, and Terrell Buckley is deep for the Packers. And good coverage that time by Jesse Campbell. 49-yard kick. That Cecil is playing football the way football is supposed to be played. Packers with a first down from the 19. They have not had the advantage in field position, and their punter, Paul McJillian, mainly responsible. Favre on first down, fake short, goes long, and Sterling Sharp is open. He makes the reception and into Giant territory, where McGriggs makes the stop, and a gain of 43 yards for the Packers.
Brett Favre takes a lot of grief from Sterling Sharp about throwing, as Sterling Sharp refers to him, skyrockets out there to him. He goes, one of these days I'm going to fair catch one of these passes he floats out, and he floats one out because Sterling Sharp, you lay that on a rope at 6 points and it's all over, because McGriggs is not going to catch Sterling Sharp.
Sharp had to come back to the ball, but he's having a whale of a day. 7 catches for 99 yards. And a first down on the 38 of the Giants. There's the wraparound draw play to Workman. They tried it once in the first half, and this one gains them 4 yards.
You know, every time something happens, there's always an excuse, and that being sports. Everybody's got an excuse in sports. Brett Favre's whole thing is, you wouldn't believe how slippery those footballs are. You get those balls that come off the sidelines, they're right out of the box, and that's why they slip off my hand a little bit. He's having a good day, very accurate day throwing the ball, and he just sort of lobbed that one up into the wind, and the wind just kept it up there.
Second down and 6. Got a new football to work with on the 34-yard line. Giants lead 13-7. Favre will swing it out to Sidney. Banks almost missed a tackle, and Mark Collins helps out at a gain of 3. Right now for an update, here's Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Dick, at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Troy Aikman looking for and finding Michael Irvin. 57 yards to the 1-yard line. Emmitt Smith took it in from there for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Dallas leading Detroit 27-3, Dick.
Right after Michael Irvin did not make the flight to Michigan. I guess they forgot about that.
All that is embarrassing and expensive.
Third down and 3 for the Packers on the 31. Favre's pass is dropped. Sterling Sharp had it and dropped it. He dropped a long one last week against the Lions. That would have given the Packers a first down. And Mike Holmgren will shake his head, saying it's just mistakes that have cost the Packers in this game thus far.
Now here's a guy having a good game, and people are always talking about how concentration is the key to any sport. That's a matter of concentration. He's thinking about what he's going to do with it once he catches it before he catches it.
So Chris Jackie will try a 49-yard field goal. He kicked one from 53 last week to tie a Packer record. He's got the wind at his back, and this one is way short, not even close. And the Giants will take over. It is still 13-7 on the 49-yard miss.
Oh, the mind games of being a kicker. A little bit of a low snap that Mikowski handles very well, but watch Jackie right there. Now you should be driving through the ball that way. Watch his body kind of stays back at this angle. He kind of punches into it and falls away. And that ball never had a chance. That ball barely made it to the goal line, much less to the goal posts.
So the Giants take over on their 32-yard line. First down. Hostetler's pass to Cross. And a good tackle by Leroy Butler and a gain of 3. Well, Lawrence Taylor is on the sidelines with a sprained right shoulder, and they hope that he gets back into action. Giants had Pepper Johnson out earlier. He came back, and now Taylor is ailing.
You start getting up there in that 33, 34, 35 years old and playing football, everything hurts. Sometimes when you're younger, you'll play, you'll be hurt, you'll be better by Wednesday. You get over 32 years old, you're not better until February.
You know from experience. Second down and 7 at the 35. Hampton is the setback. And Hostetler drills it, and it's incomplete. McCaffrey was his target, and Roland Mitchell was covering on the play. McCaffrey coming into the game as the leading receiver for the Giants and really making great strides from his rookie season a year ago. But nothing much today for McCaffrey.
This was a great opportunity for the Giants to get a little momentum going their way. The Packers always seem to make a mistake that's going to kill them. They missed that field goal. Can the Giants take advantage of it and build the momentum against this young team?
Giants are 1 for 6 on third down conversions. Here's pressure on Hostetler. And he laterals it to his center, Bart Oates. But the Packers... So you want to carry the football.
You know, the most surprised person in this stadium wasn't Ray Hanley, wasn't Jim Fassel, their offensive coordinator. It's Bart Oates. I wish we could have a close-up shot of what his face looks like right about here. You're gonna what? You're gonna give me the ball?
You know,
I snap him. I don't run with him.
He had his hands out, though.
You get rushing stats for that?
Sure. Landetta will kick, and Terrell Buckley goes back deep. A line drive kick, and Buckley bobbles the ball. He loses the ball, and the Giants appear to have recovered. They've got it. The official had signaled that the Giants recovered. And they'll let out an official roar when we get the official call.
Anything can happen in these little dog piles. If they're going to reverse themselves like this. No, they're not. Giants still got it. And Mike Holmgren knows what this is like, because he's watched his team week after week after week make these mistakes. That is, again, a rookie mistake. That is worrying about what you're going to do after you catch the ball and not worrying about catching the ball and paying proper attention to the old football, the ball maintenance.
And you can be sure that Buckley is not going to be heading toward Holmgren's side.
Well, Mike's looking for somebody. I guarantee you that right now.
That's the second time in as many weeks that Buckley has fumbled a punt.
Well, as we went to commercial, I said Mike Holmgren was looking for somebody, and that's the somebody he was looking for. Giving him a little piece of his mind. Buckley gets an earful, and he also gets a little help from a veteran. Sterling Sharp says, hey, come on, you're cool. Don't worry about it. Get back in there and get your head into the game. It's bad enough to cause a turnover, but the last thing Mike Holmgren wants his rookie to do is make another mistake and give up 6.
Buckley finding life is rugged for a rookie after a great college career. Giants have a first down. On the 18-yard line, Hostetler loses the ball. There's a fumble. And the Packers indicate they've got it, and they do. So on the first play, following the bobble by Buckley, Robert Brown recovers the ball for the Packers, and it was forced by Tony Bennett, and Green Bay gets it back.
What a great momentum swing for these Packers. Buckley fumbles the punt, and look at what Bennett does. He's not grabbing the legs, he's not grabbing the body, he's doing nothing but ball. Right there. There's an illustration. A couple years ago, up to 5, 6, 7 years ago, guys used to go for the sack, go for the legs. Now they're hawking that football.
That's only the 5th time this year the Giants have lost a fumble. They've done a good job of protecting it. First down from the 19, Green Bay ball. And they give this to Workman. And we want to welcome the viewers who've been watching the Cowboys and the Lions to Giant Stadium. There's the time remaining in the third quarter. The Giants lead the Packers 13-7. This is Dick Stockton with Randy Cross. The Giants moments ago had a great opportunity following a Packer turnover, first down on the Green Bay 18, but they coughed the ball up on their first play from scrimmage. Green Bay took over, and now they have a 2nd and 8 from their 21. And here comes the blitz. Favre has it tipped in the air. Incomplete. Lawrence Taylor, who had a shoulder injury and went to the sidelines, back in there, and now Taylor is shaken up again.
And LT grabbing that right leg. We take a look at what happened on that last play. Here comes Carl Banks on the blitz, and Pepper Johnson up the middle. LT gets the hand on it, but it twists his ankle a little bit on that AstroTurf. Watch this. Right at the very end, watch that right ankle. Right there. Ooh, a little high-speed wobble. That hurts. That's when those ligaments in that ankle start stretching out.
Been a rough day for Giant linebackers. Pepper Johnson was shaken up in the first half with a slight sprained knee, and now Lawrence Taylor, and this looks to be a little more serious than the earlier Giant injuries. Taylor today has 4 tackles and 1 quarterback sack to go along with a forced fumble, and was a big player in the first series of this game by the Packers.
Another illustration as the Giants cart looks like it's going to be coming on the field for LT. It's a good illustration of what AstroTurf can do at times. It doesn't have that give of grass, and as LT was planting that leg, getting that foot on the ground, that right ankle, everything just sort of hit the ground, and all the tension went down into that one joint in his ankle.
Very tough injury for the Giants to sustain, considering their status coming into this week, as Ray Handley comes onto the field to check with Taylor. Only a game out of second place. And after next week's game in Denver, some tough division games coming up for the Giants. Standing ovation now for LT. As soon as we find out what the injury is, we'll send it along to you.
What a shame for a guy like that, like Lawrence Taylor, if this is indeed anything serious. Having a very good year, having a great year by most human standards, but having a pretty good year by a Lawrence Taylor standard.
Tough blow for the Giants. For those who have just joined us, Giants leading 13-7. Rodney Hampton scoring their only touchdown. Vince Workman scored the Packer touchdown, and Matt Barr with 2 field goals, the difference in this game. Kanavis McGee has replaced Taylor. There he is at the bottom of your screen on up front. Favre on 3rd down and 8 completes to Sterling Sharp, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down, but not by much. He gets 7 yards on the play.
Now Paul McJulian is going to have to come in and do a little punting here, something he hasn't done very well at all so far today. This is the most critical punt of the day for the Green Bay Packers. McJulian's had one blocked already. He's had a few gotten close to. He's got a 22-yarder. He's got to kick this ball well and long and deep. He's got to do it here so that Green Bay doesn't kill themselves completely from the field position standpoint.
And not a good kick. It's a low kick. Takes a Green Bay bounce. And the Packers will down it at the 29. McJulian is shaken up, but the injury to Lawrence Taylor is that he has an injury to his right Achilles tendon and will not be back the rest of the day. McJulian, as you can see, is shaken up after that 44-yard kick. He's had a rough go of it.
Well, they talked about him having a little tendonitis in that plant leg kneecap. And right there, that's right what he's holding, is that plant leg, that left leg right around that kneecap area. And Mike Holmgren's got to start looking at that depth chart right here and figuring out, well, gee, if this guy can't kick for me anymore, am I better off going forward if the field position warrants it? Am I better off letting Chris Jackie pooch a few in here? This is a big break for the Giants and to their advantage, not having a regular punter available if indeed Paul McJulian can't keep going.
Interesting, the Giants had that problem when Mark Ingram went down with the injury last week. He was the backup punter for Sean Landeta. Philippi Sparks would have been it. First down, Rodney Hampton with a good game. Penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. After a fine gain by Rodney Hampton, and that may be holding called against the Giants.
Holding, 72 offense.
That'll nullify.
10 yards. Repeat first down.
An 11-yard gain. Doug Riesenberg was holding on the play.
Well, you know, there's offensive lines that as a group are power lines and good trapping lines and good movement lines. And you talk about the Giants line, and I think it's unanimous, anybody that plays against this offensive line, they're really mushers. I mean, they just kind of get in there and slam into people and kind of mush things along. And they're maulers. They're guys that get in and get all over people. And they're the type of line that if they aren't real careful with their hands, they get them outside. They draw a lot of those type of penalties.
You're wondering who the backup kicker is. Bill Jackie would be, Chris Jackie would be the backup kicker, but it would have been Brian Noble, who is injured and back in Green Bay. And that is the end of the third quarter with the score, the Giants 13 and the Packers 7. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The fourth quarter, the Giants lead 13-7, certainly not playing with the convincing style that got them the victory in Washington last Sunday.
Not at all. They're playing an inferior opponent, and at this point, this football team, and it's not a reflection directly of Ray Handley, but the team itself seems to be playing this game not to lose it. They're not doing anything to lose it at this point, but they certainly aren't doing much that we'd say is on their end trying to win it.
Motivational problem apparently was a problem this week, judging by the way they're playing. First down and 20 for the Giants as we start the fourth quarter. Ball at the 19, and on a delay, here's Rodney Hampton. who brings it out to the 23, a pickup of 3 yards.
And they're basically just sort of playing field position here with Green Bay. If they're not willing to go down the field here, get the ball outside to McCaffrey, get him over the middle, or get Stephen Baker matched up again on Mitchell or Terrell Buckley, they want to play field position with the Packers. They're going to say, if we can get a first down, great. But if we can't, we don't think your offense can move the ball on our defense.
2nd down and 17. Some pressure, and his pass is incomplete. Stephen Baker on a crossing pattern was well covered downfield, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Giants. And Matt Brock, the Packer defensive end, is shaken up.
Well, Matt was one of the guys putting the pressure on Hostetler right there. They were trying to make a number 15 sandwich here. Brock will be coming from the top of the screen, Bennett from the bottom of the screen. And they ended up jamming, Brock jammed his head right into Elliott's back and seemed to just kind of shock his neck. Watch from the right-hand side of the screen. Right about now, here comes Brock. Right into Elliott's back. And that's a situation where you get those stingers and that neck starts hurting and you get the pain down your arms. But the biggest pain right now has been the Green Bay special teams.
Still around Matt Brock, the injured Packer, and of course Green Bay fans all too familiar with injuries that make you hold your breath. Brian Noble, of course, the game we had against the Bears a couple of weeks ago, and it's good that Brock is up. Hoping to get back this week, Randy, and did not make the trip, and his health obviously so much more important than football.
Well, they described Brian Noble's injury as a bruised spine, and he practiced on Thursday and came up pretty sore on Friday, and Mike Holmgren told him, Noble wanted to be here, he wanted to play, and Mike Holmgren took the smart approach. Basically said, hey, look, Brian, there's a lot more important things in life than football, and to you, the number one thing is getting your body completely healthy. This is a whole different set of circumstances and things a young guy like Mike Holmgren now has to deal with. He's the head coach, and suddenly these decisions and circumstances are thrust upon him.
Lester Archambault replaces Brock up front for the Packers. 3rd down and 17 for the Giants. 4 wide receivers, 3 line up to the left. And Hostetler swings it out to Meggett. And Meggett is dead quickly, and George Kuntz, who had a fine game against the Lions last week, holds Meggett to only a 4-yard gain.
I talked about earlier how this was sort of the new look Giants, that the Giants had a pretty good defense and an offense that was playing real well and was coming out of its shell. Well, this is the old look Giants. This is the Giants of a tough physical defense and an offense whose job it is not to screw the game up. And that's what the Giants just did in that last possession. They called plays like they were trying not to mess the game up.
See how Buckley handles this kick. He bobbled the last one, and it caused a turnover. Sean Landeta will be kicking from the 15 and gets off a beauty. And the Giants are going to down it at the 2 or 3 yard line. Renee Thompson. That was a 71-yard kick by Landeta.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer. AT&T, the right choice. And by Levi's Dockers. Nobody does colors like Dockers.
That 71-yard punt by Landeta ties his career-long kick, and the Packers will start from their 3.
In this situation, you refer to as the backed-up offense. Your whole goal is to get 1 first down or give your punter some room to kick out of.
Barr will throw on first down, going deep for Sterling Sharp. He holds on to it. And Sterling Sharp gets the Packers out of big trouble. A 42-yard gain. Mark Collins defending on the play to the Packer 45.
There's an example of Mike Holmgren not changing his play calling tendencies from a year ago as the coordinator for the Niners to now as being the head coach of the Packers. What a gutsy call to have a young, basically a rookie quarterback standing in his own end zone, pump faking and throwing a bomb on your own 2-yard line. Great call from Mike Holmgren.
And a good catch, good concentration for Sharp. Favre is getting better every week. First down on the 45. Swing pass to Workman. And forcing the play was Greg Jackson. And no gain on the play. For an update, right now, let's check in across the river to Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Dick, at the Silverdome, Troy Aikman for Michael Irvin, 15 yards. Irvin's first touchdown catch in 4 games. Dallas all over the Lions, 34-3 in the 4th, Dick.
Cowboys with only 1 loss on the year and will keep that mark. Meanwhile, it's second down and 9 at the 46. Corey Miller is in the lineup in place of the injured Lawrence Taylor. Number 57 is Miller. Favre's pass is batted down at the line by Corey Miller.
You know, a guy like Brett Favre, Dick, a lot of people are saying the same things about him here in this first year of really playing full time that they used to say about Troy Aikman. You know, Aikman is now considered one of the better quarterbacks, one of the top 3 or 4 guys, I think, in the NFL. This guy here, with a few years of experience and a couple more weapons around him, just having Sterling Sharp won't do it. You give this young guy a couple weapons, and he is going to be dangerous. He'll be one of the league's tops.
Packers are 3 of 9 when they face third down. Kendrick Taylor is in as a third wide receiver, and the pass is caught by Sterling Sharp, but he's going to be well short of the yardage. He gained only 1. It was Greg Jackson and Renee Thompson making the stop. It was the 10th catch of the game for Sterling Sharp, but it's 4th down, and McJulian will have to come in and kick.
And remember, McJulian on the bad left plant leg, got the tendonitis in that left kneecap, is punting right into the same wind that Landeta took advantage of. He better hit a low driver. He gets us up in the air. He won't make it 20 yards.
Joey Smith and Dave Nickett, and they bobble the punt snap. And McJulian pulls a Garo Yepremian, and a penalty marker is down. George Kuntz, an ineligible receiver. So shades of that Washington-Miami Super Bowl. McJulian throws it away into the wrong hands.
Illegal touching. Number 53 of the offense. The penalty is only loss of down. First down, New York.
But the Giants will take over. First down. Frank Winters is the snapper here.
Or the roller, depending on how you want to look at this snap right here, because it gets snapped for 10 yards and rolls for 5. And this isn't your first choice to have this guy running around trying to throw a pass to somebody. The idea was right. He had Jackie Harris backside. He tried to get him the ball. But look at this. Now you got to wonder, though, if McJulian isn't 100%, if he is 100%, does he get that ball? Being a little banged up, he's just not as mobile as he was.
Another special teams mistake by the Packers. And on first down, Rodney Hampton going off right tackle, picks up 1 yard. The crowd expresses their displeasure with the ball control play of the Giants. Johnny Holland and Butler in on the play. 13-7. Nearly 10.5 to go in the 4th quarter.
And what Ray Handley and the Giants are doing here offensively isn't real complicated. They're taking the least opportunities to make a mistake. And if you're running the ball, the only mistake you can make is fumbling it. Passing it, a lot of bad things can happen.
Second down. Hostetler's pass knocked down by Buckley, and a flag is down. Buckley was all over the back of Stephen Baker. And they're going to call that against the Packers. Buckley arguing with the official, and Johnny Holland trying to keep Cecil away from him.
Defensive pass interference on number 27. First down.
Well, once again, it's the rookie, and you know, life is timing, and this is timing. Does he get there before the ball? You know what, Terrell? You got a real good argument. That was not pass interference. He got one on that one. That was not pass interference.
11th penalty against the Packers. Play action for Hostetler. He's got Jared Bunch out of the backfield. And Bunch with the extra effort. Just 2 yards shy of the first down. Johnny Holland on the tackle.
One thing we haven't seen so far, and we kind of expected coming into this thing, was as well as the Giants have been rushing the ball, for them to take advantage of a little play action pass. Freeze that defense and those safeties with the run and try to get one over the top to your Stephen Bakers.
2nd and 2. Jared Bunch with the penalty marker down. We may have a holding call against the Giant front. And that would nullify a first down for the Giants. 9:38 showing on the clock here in the 4th quarter. And that's the call against New York.
Every time something goes good, the Giants do something to counteract whatever it was that was good.
Holding, offense, number 65, 10 yards, repeat
That's
second
Bart
down.
Oates, the center. You know, they say if you can play poorly and win, that's a big achievement, and the Giants may be doing just that. The question is, can they hold on and win?
You better play poorly and win against the right opponent. You play poorly against the Redskins last Sunday night, you don't beat them. You play poorly against Philly or Dallas, and they will stomp you.
2nd down and 12. Hostetler has plenty of time, and the pass is incomplete. Throwing into coverage, Johnny Holland was defending against Stephen Baker, and Leroy Butler was also back there.
Nice job by Leroy Butler on that right at the very end of that last play, coming all the way up over the top of Baker. You know, it's always illustrated like Terrell Buckley got called for going over the top of the receiver and hitting him early. Butler kind of took all the doubts out of that and just jumped over the top of him and tried to knock that ball down.
So the Giants, who are now 1 for 8 in 3rd down conversions, will face 3rd and long from the Green Bay 37. Shotgun is Hostetler. Receivers are covered downfield, and Hostetler is finally decked beyond the 40-yard line, and the Giants are out of field goal range. It was Tony Bennett and George Kuntz combining to bring Hostetler down, and a loss on the play of 4 yards. Big defensive play for the Packers here.
You know, that was an example right there of a coverage sack. You know, you hear that a lot, but with 3 guys rushing, you shouldn't be able to get pressure on a quarterback within about 10 seconds. And that's about how long Hostetler really had. The entire defensive backfield did a great job of covering everything. I mean, they were in the end zone, they were covered. They were on the 20, they were covered. Nice job.
You know, if the Packers have not made all the mistakes they've made today, they could very well be in the lead in this game. Landeta will kick, and Cecil and Buckley are back. Cecil is on the left. Delay of the game against the Giants.
And this is a situation to set up Sean Landeta.
Delay of game, offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
Sean Landeta is probably the best kicker in the last 10 years at pinning teams back inside their own 10-yard line. I miss the guys that could kick the coffin corner. Landeta is one of the guys that can make a ball die, sit, spin, and go out of bounds.
And there's his kick, headed for Buckley. The Giants will try to down it in the field, but they cannot. It goes into the end zone for a touchback. Renee Thompson was down there along with Philippi Sparks, but it'll be a touchback, and the Packers will take over on the 20. NFL doubleheader next Sunday begins with the NFL Today. The Redskins play at Kansas City, and the Eagles and the Packers meet in Milwaukee in the early games. Later on, it's the Rams at Dallas, Chicago at Tampa Bay, and New Orleans at San Francisco. Check your local listings for the NFL on CBS.
It's unbelievable, Dick, that it's still only 13-7 Giants. The Giants have kept the Packers in this for the last 2 quarters. But I don't think the Packers can take advantage at this rate the way they're going.
First down on the 20. They swing it out to Harry Sidney, who drops the ball. He was there. And that'll bring up second down. When you consider the mistakes the Packers have made, 2 fumbles, special teams errors, penalties, 11 in all, including some key penalties on the secondary, and it's only 13-7. The Packers, by and large, are not really playing bad football today.
Well, a giant team, I think, today was very lucky in that they've run into this Packer team that really is stumbling and bumbling and seems not to have the confidence to maintain an entire drive at this point.
Second down, and Workman in motion to the right. Favre on the run, and the pass very nearly intercepted by Jackson. The target was Jackie Harris, the tight end. A very risky pass for Favre to throw on the run, and that'll bring up third down.
Well, those are the kind of passes that Mike Holmgren gets a little concerned with Brett Favre, in that when he gets in a situation like this with 8 minutes or so to go, but in the end of this game, he tries to make something happen. And when you try to create something and you're not positive about where everybody is, 9 times out of 10, and you're young, something bad happens.
Rookie Keith Hamilton along with Mike Fox are up to pass rush now on 3rd and 10. 4-man front for the Giants. Favre's pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and is it caught? It is caught by the Packers, and it was Sterling Sharp, and it is a first down on the pass that appeared to be deflected at the line of scrimmage, and a gain of 12.
Well, Favre got a little lucky because this ball is definitely tipped, but what a nice job of concentrating on the football by Sterling Sharp. Look at this ball floating in there. He comes back to the ball, and more importantly, did you notice how he shielded his body between Collins and the football? Collins couldn't get through him to get to the ball to prevent that catch.
And a career high for Sterling Sharp with his 11th catch. He has gained 160 yards. Pepper Johnson got a hand on that. And a first down on the 32. Here's the draw play. Workman looking for room, comes left. And he rides Jackson to the 37-yard line. And a gain of 5 yards. Clock running, winding down to 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Last week, these Packers put a drive on Detroit in much the same situation, where Harry Sidney said, I came into the huddle and I said, we've got to be consistent. We've got to be strong. We've got to be methodical. And that's what the Packers need right now. They need to be methodical, much like the Giants when they're on a roll offensively are methodical. Look for Brett Favre to try to be surgeon-like, almost a Montana-type approach in this late-game drive.
2nd and 5. Favre looks one way. He has Harry Sidney. He gets by Banks, and another first down for the Packers. As Sidney put a move on Carl Banks and gets 8 yards on the play. Eric Howard and Greg Jackson downfield make the stop.
You know, Harry Sidney was a former wishbone quarterback at Kansas and shows a good feeling for the defense and the people pursuing him. But watch how Favre throws this ball. That's what's known as a little sidearm delivery. And there, Harry Sidney, he felt Banks coming at him, and he knew if he went inside, he'd evade at least the first 2 guys.
Former San Francisco 49er. And a first down on the 45 of the Packers. Play fake. And here is Harry Sidney, who gets into Giant territory and drives close to a first down. He is shy by about a yard. Renee Thompson making the stop. For the Packers with a smart drive here with 5:40 remaining and still trailing by that 13-7 score, and that was our score at the half.
And they're running the Mike Holmgren style of an offense. They're running some draws, but they're using this pass as the run. They're flipping the ball out a little bit to their fullback, looking to do the same thing maybe a little bit here also with Vince Workman. But the key weapon for this drive right now has got to be Sterling Sharp. He'll get the yards in the big chunks.
2nd down and 1. There's Workman, dives straight ahead, and a first down. Pickup of 3 yards. Packers who last week winning at Detroit in one shot scored their first road win, their first division triumph, and their first NFC victory all in one win.
You know, you talk about this offense only having one great big weapon in Sterling Sharp. Look what they're doing with the ball, though. Granted, Sharp's got all the catches for the receivers, but they're spreading it to the tight ends and the backs. And they got to keep doing that on this drive and don't make any dumb mental errors.
First down on the 43-yard line. And the pass is intercepted by Pepper Johnson. He's still on his feet. He fumbles. And Green Bay may get it back.
You know who caused that fumble? Brett Favre. Brett Favre missed a try at a tackle, came back and punched that ball out from behind.
Sanjay Beach, the wide receiver, recovered the fumble. You're right, Favre caused it, and Pepper Johnson decided to run with the ball, and it cost him.
We talked about that dumb mistake he can't make. Well, look it up in the dictionary now, because there's now a picture of this play under dumb mistake in this situation. But watch Favre. He's getting up off the ground. Watch number 4 right there. Gets in there and jams that arm in and causes that fumble.
Unusual interception for Favre, who came into the game with the lowest interception percentage in the NFL.
Well, just when the Giants got something going their way and could have done something good, they do something bad.
Just like you said, the Giants are keeping the Packers in the game. Green Bay ball, first down on their 47. Favre's pass was intended for Sterling Sharp and thrown behind him, incomplete.
Brett's looking over to the sideline. You see him give Sterling a little wink there as he looks downfield. He's kind of looking over at Holmgren saying, well, Coach, I swear to God, I told him turn in. I told him turn in. I threw it turn out.
But he's one of those guys that keeps coming back for more. He's undaunted. He'll throw an interception. He'll keep fighting.
Let's not forget what this offense has done against this Giants defense going deep. He hasn't thrown any of these balls deep on a rope. He's had Sterling Sharp open long 3 or 4 times today.
Kitrick Taylor in as a third wide out, 2nd and 10. Favre up the middle to Jackie Harris, who gets hit at but holds onto the ball. Greg Jackson on the stop. Great concentration by Jackie Harris and a gain of 21 yards. He was hit solidly by Greg Jackson.
Well, here's an opportunity for Jackie Harris to know exactly how many teeth there are in his head, because every one of them is going to start rattling around in his mouth right there as soon as Jackson lays his shoulder into him.
And the Packers will call a timeout. What a crunching hit by Jackson. And Harris now with 8 catches for 70 yards. Green Bay calls a timeout, and they have 2 left.
He's looking. Look at that smile on his face. He's saying, that was a good hit, wasn't it? He's saying, you know, he hit me hard, but I held it. Everybody gives you a high five. You know, everybody's giving him high fives on the sideline and smiling and laughing. They're giving him that high five, and they're turning around. They're saying, man, I'm glad that wasn't me. And Mark Jackson's got to think at this point, how much harder do I have to hit this guy? I mean, Greg Jackson, I gave him my best shot. As good a shot as I had, I brought it to him, and it didn't affect him at all.
That's why Jackie Harris is going to be a fixture in that Packer offense in years to come. Favre has now completed 25 of 38 passes and over 250 yards. Having a big day.
Remember the dumb mistake. Don't ruin a great drive by trying to do something smart.
Under 4 minutes to go, and Harris drops the ball. You know, the last one, he could have been forgiven if he dropped that. He was open there.
Well, that's a tough one. The ball's a little bit low, but, you know, the play before, somebody's hitting you between the eyes with a Louisville Slugger, and it doesn't bother you at all. And that time, nobody's near you, and you drop one.
Dallas and Philadelphia winning big today. Minnesota the same against Tampa Bay. 2nd down and 10 for the Packers on the Giant 33.
These Giants are one big play away from trailing in this ballgame.
Favre passes out, and it's intercepted. And Renee Thompson has Favre to beat. And it'll be a Giant touchdown. No flags are down.
Well, they were one play away from trailing, or they were one play away from leading the game by 13 points. Nice play by Renee Thompson stepping in front on that pass. He had that read the whole way, and I don't even know if Favre ever saw him.
69-yard play, and for a guy who has made very few mistakes passing-wise, he has thrown 2 interceptions here. One didn't hurt, but this one really burned the Packers, and it is now 19-7 in favor of the Giants. Renee Thompson with a 69-yard interception return for a score. And Matt Barr is aboard. And the Giants now lead it 20-7, 3:38 remaining. Renee Thompson accepting congratulations, his first career touchdown.
And what happens here, it's not too tough to figure out. Here's Renee Thompson. Watch him get over here, then watch him break on the ball. As the back comes out, or the tight end comes out, Jackie Harris, look at him break right there. He was reading Brett Favre the entire way. Nice job of anticipation by Renee Thompson. And it was that one dumb play came back and bit Brett Favre again.
4th turnover by the Packers. 20-7 is the score, and it's a lot closer than the score indicates. And Matt Barr will be kicking off. Back deep, Corey Harris and Edgar Bennett for the Packers. Corey Harris returning from the 3. And he brings it out beyond the 20-yard line, an 18-yard return.
Let's watch it again, almost behind Renee Thompson. Watch Favre. He's looking at the tight end the whole way. Did you see that? Favre had his eyes on the tight end the whole way, and Renee Thompson knew it.
Big interception and a score for Thompson, who hasn't been 100% healthy and has not played up to the level of his previous seasons, but a big defensive play for the Giants, and Favre goes back into the huddle and his team trailing 20-7.
Well, people talk about how cornerbacks, when they get beat for a deep touchdown, have to have short memories. Well, I almost think a quarterback has to have a shorter memory than that cornerback does. Brett Favre can't let that bother him. He just has to run his offense here and try to get this ball down the field.
First down from the 21. Favre's pass to Jackie Harris, and they pick up good yardage, just short of the 40 at the gain of 17 yards. They're still examining Lawrence Taylor, who has an Achilles tendon injury and was taken off the field on the cart here in the second half. First down, Packers. Workman is hit by Sparks, and no gain on the play. Under 3 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter.
And this is the problem this Green Bay Packer offense has at this point. A defense is going to give you all the 2 or 3 yard passes you want in this situation. They're worried about you getting down the field.
And they're going for Harris, and it's intercepted by Greg Jackson. Jackson into Packer territory. And the Giants with their 3rd interception here in the second half. Ron Hallstrom made the tackle on a 31-yard return, and the Giants defensive secondary coming up big here.
When a young quarterback is trying to make something happen, invariably the ball goes into an area it shouldn't be in. And gee, what do you think? Maybe this ball shouldn't be in here? Jackson plays his deep center field position just fine and picks this one off. And on that run back just now, we saw there wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm out of the Packers. I think a lot of the wind has gone out of these guys.
Packers with 5 turnovers and 2 special teams errors, equivalent to 7 turnovers today. Giants keeping it on the ground on first down, and Rodney Hampton up the middle. And a pickup of 4 yards.
Well, if the Giants do indeed go on and win this, as it appears they will, this will be kind of a, I don't know, what do you call it, a humble win? Is there such a thing? This isn't one of those games where you come out in the parking lot after the game, standing tall with your chest all puffed out about, hey, we sure kicked them around the field, didn't we? They got a good, hard week of practice to go, and Ray Handley has to be excited about winning 3 in a row. But there's nothing worth going too crazy about beating this team today.
It's just one they got away with. That's what it is. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and the CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the New York Giants, and the National Football League is prohibited. 2 minutes remaining. Brett Favre, last 3 Green Bay possessions have resulted in 3 interceptions. He had a great streak going before the last segment, 181 passes. And now yelling for timeout are the Packers. And they have 1 left, trailing 20-7. Singing for Renee Thompson, who did it his way, accounting for the only score in the second half this afternoon.
Dick, we talked about this being an ugly win, and this will be an ugly win tonight. It'll be an ugly win tomorrow. You know, by next week, it'll just be another W for the Giants.
3rd down and 9. And Rodney Hampton is stopped short. And 1:40 to go, and Packers yelling for a timeout. And while we have a moment, we'll tell you that today's game was produced by Mark Wolf and directed by Mike Arnold. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. And the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. Well, when you consider, Randy, that the Giants had to beat the Redskins last week and have Denver next week and then division games after that just to get by the Packers, I think was their aim, and they did exactly that. They just got by as you look at the next 5 weeks on their schedule.
Well, they survived and were able to take advantage of enough of Green Bay's mistakes to win this game. But I tell you what, for the next month, they can't afford to make half of the mistakes in those games that they made today against the Green Bay Packers. And they've got to play emotionally somewhere near the level they played last Sunday night, because today they were flat. They weren't really ready to get out and really get after people. You got to give some credit to Green Bay. Green Bay was ready to go, but I really think Ray Handley and this Giants team really got away with it.
They were lucky to win this one. You can say that. 4th down and 3. Packers are out of timeouts. And Rodney Hampton will have the 1st down and more. And he gets inside the 10-yard line. Chuck Cecil making the play. You got to credit the Giant defense. Not pure luck today. The Giants now have given up only 24 points in the last 3 games, and it couldn't come at a better time looking ahead to their schedule.
Oh, with the offenses they're going to be facing, you know, with John Elway, and it seems that Philadelphia got their proverbial act together a little bit today offensively down in Philly. So it'll be interesting to see how this offense functions against Wade Phillips attacking D in Denver.
Tough place to play at Mile High Stadium. I want to remind you, we'll have interviews and highlights and updating the scores on our post-game show following this game. Giants will go over the 500 mark since the 13th week of last season. They were 7-6, and that's the last time they have been above 500. And today they will go 5-4.
Because they're in a chase for a wild card spot. They're not going to win the division. But if you were to draw the playoffs up right now, you'd have teams like the Giants and Chicago. You wouldn't put them on that 6-team list in the NFC. Somebody in that top 8 in the NFC is going to play themselves out of the playoff berth here pretty quick in the next 2 weeks.
2nd and goal on the 8-yard line with under a minute to play. And Rodney Hampton breaks 1 tackle, heading for the end zone, and he is in for the touchdown. That's his 2nd touchdown of the game. That gives him 9 on the year, and the Giants rolling it up. And now the players are rolling on the ground. Frustrating loss for the Packers, who played well enough in most cases to win. Mike Holmgren will have to live with mistakes until this team gets straightened out.
Well, the Packers just don't have the horses to hang with a big physical team right now. They don't have the speed and quality skill guys that they need to challenge this type of a team. And from a line standpoint, defensively, they just can't stand up.
And that's why Holmgren was upset when people kept talking about the Packers being a new version of the 49ers. It really stuck in his craw. He says, we don't have the people to be the 49ers, even though Green Bay is playing that kind of an offense.
Well, the strength of this organization with Mike Holmgren, I think, is his coaching staff and the organization. Their general manager, Ron Wolf, and Mike Holmgren, I think, have the blueprint to bring things back up there in Packerland. But it is going to take them a while.
I want to sort it out, but here's Rodney Hampton's second touchdown of the game. Larry Nemmers will explain the penalties.
Packers look confused, had a few guys out of position. Look at George Kuntz. Where's he going? He's getting mauled a little bit by Derek Brown, but he's way out of position. It makes for an easy one for Hampton. You know, whenever they take this long to announce something, they go to one sideline. We're going to throw this guy out, or we're going to throw that side out. We're getting the dreaded offsetting penalty coming up here. Unsportsmanlike conduct on everybody in white and everybody in blue.
Packers have the Eagles next week in Milwaukee, and Randall Cunningham scheduled to come back as the Philadelphia quarterback.
We have unsportsmanlike conduct against both teams. Number 65 for the Giants is kicked out of the ballgame. Number 50 for Green Bay is kicked out of the ballgame. The penalties offset. Extra point.
You called that shot, didn't you, partner? Offsetting penalties after all of that. Holland and Oates are thrown out of the game with 49 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Bart looks pretty broken up about that, doesn't he?
Matt Barr trying to add the 27th point for the Giants. He kicked 2 field goals today for the Giants, who now lead 27-7.
Ray Hanley over here talking to Rodney Hampton about exactly how he felt, what happened, and he wants to get the story, because the fight kind of broke out in the corner of the end zone where Rodney was. So Ray went up and, okay, Rodney, what's the deal? And Rodney looked at him like the 4th grader when the teacher asks you, you know, what were those guys doing? I don't know nothing. Always take that. If the head coach wants to get in your case about a fight or something, you always take the Sergeant Schultz on him. You give him the old, I know nothing.
I'm not taking names.
I wasn't looking, I wasn't listening, I didn't pay attention or nothing.
Giants will have won their 3rd in a row, and a big win when you consider that Dallas and Philadelphia winning today. Giants could ill afford letting more space go by between the Cowboys, Eagles, Redskins, and themselves.
But the key for the Giants, we looked at Jim Fassel and Jeff Hostetler meeting on the sideline. The key is for this offense of the Giants has got to play like they did last Sunday, not like they did today.
Jordan Harris returning for the Packers. And a 15-yard return. 44 seconds remaining, and the Giants with a chance to mildly celebrate on the sideline after a hard-earned victory, but not a pretty win at all.
And for Mike Holmgren and the Packers, it's one of those, well, 2 weeks ago we hung in with the Bears for about 3 quarters, and today we hung in for about 3.5 quarters. I guess you could say we're getting better, but it's little or no consolation.
1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. Brett Favre with a lot of time going to Workman downfield, tipped away by Collins. You know, these teams go back to 1928, and of course when Vince Lombardi left as a Giant assistant coach to go to Green Bay as a head coach, he won his first 2 championships against these Giants back in 61 and 62, but Green Bay has not won here in 10 years. And
a lot of that, Dick, has to do with the stability or the lack of stability not only from the coaching standpoint, but from the organizational standpoint in Green Bay. And we addressed the fact that, you know, they're back from that standpoint. Now they need the bodies that get in those helmets and play the game.
Workman up the middle. Renee Thompson makes the tackle. And that may be the last play of this game. Packers will drop down to 3-6 on the year, and the Giants win their 3rd in a row. And we'll head to Denver next Sunday night. So 3 Giant interceptions, but the big one was Renee Thompson out on the flat, returning it 69 yards for a score, as the Giants have beaten the Green Bay Packers 27-7. So the final score here at Giant Stadium, New York 27 and Green Bay 7. Stay tuned for the NFL Today post-game show as Greg and Terry will get you caught up on today's NFL action. You are watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.